Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good afternoon to you on this Sunday afternoon. This is the 30th episode of Xandermonium, the talk show that gets you talking. I'm your host, Xander Gibb, and on today's show, I'm going to be joined by my very good friend, the fabulous, wonderful, sexy comedian Will Noonan, all the way from Boston. He's also a writer and a porn star and all-star sex kitten. No, honestly, it's true. All this for your entertainment and supplication. More to come in a mere moment. So, as you know, we're very high-tech here. Hi, Kathy, in the chat room. You can interact with us during the show. You can call us with your questions on 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061. At the bottom of the page, you'll see the chat room. You can ask questions in there. Or you can tweet me, which sounds very disgusting, but all it means is sending me a message on Twitter, unfortunately. And my Twitter handle is at the little A in a circle, Xander Gibb, Xandergibb. That's me, Xandergibb. Tweet me if you're too shy, and I will make a point on your behalf, or you can ask a question, and you can tweet Will. Excuse me, frog in my throat today. You can tweet Will on at Will Noonan. That's WILLNOONAN. That's, once more for you, that's WILLNOONAN. As per usual, we will dedicate the last section of the show to Watch Your Beef if anybody wants to call in and tell us who's pissing you off. Maybe it's me, maybe it's Will, maybe it's the whole world. Maybe it's Amanda Bynes. I'm hoping she's going to call us today and tell us her version of events, but more about her very soon. Don't forget to check out the Jake Pentland Show. If you've never listened to it before, really, go check it out. It's freaking hilarious. There will be, yes, Kathy, the show started. Try clicking refresh, and you will be able to hear the show. She's got it. Any technical problems, just mention them, and we'll try and help you. Because unfortunately, Blog Talk is not always the greatest technical wizardry that it's cracked up to be. Yes, back to the Jake Pentland Show. Saturdays, 1 p.m. PST, 4 p.m. EST, with Jake, Jen, Eli, and all of the crazy cult people. That's also on Blog Talk Radio. Follow Jake on Twitter, and he will tweet you his show details. Also, I think they're still on hiatus. Everybody's complaining about how much they missed them. Time Out Seat with Brandy and Jenny. Check their Twitter page for details of when their next show is going to be. Their Twitter handle is at Time Out Seat. That's TIMEOUTSEAT. That's TIMEOUTSEAT. Apparently, I missed out Susie. Sorry, Susie. She's also one of the co-hosts on Jake's show. Check her out, too. That's Susie Meister. Also, the Robin Trav Show, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. EST, 5 p.m. PST on grindhouseradio.com. I might see you there, depending on if I am working that night or not. So, also, if you could take a moment to check out www.rerun.org, that's RERUN.org. It's a cause that's close to the heart of one of our cult throng, Wendy Ponzo, and it's a charity dedicated to the rehoming of thoroughbred horses through an adoption program. Their mission is to rehabilitate, retrain, and find loving homes for thoroughbred race horses when their careers on the track are over. So please take a moment to take a look at them, and if you can afford to give them a couple of bucks, do that. Once again, I'll give you the address. It's www.rerun.org. rerun.org. That's RERUN.ORG. Hi, Joe. Welcome to the chat room. Joe said she noticed she was a guest, but you're not a guest, you're a member, so you're more than welcome. One thing I wanted to talk about today, because it's Memorial Day weekend, before we all lose our composure totally and get down to some serious humor, I just wanted to give a big heartfelt thank you on behalf of everybody here at Xandermonium to all of our service personnel, men, women, past, present, and to come, for keeping us safe, free, and able to enjoy the things that this great nation has to offer. I am, however, sorry that we do not always bestow enough honor and take enough care of them and their families when they either get injured or killed or leave the service. Please, however, be assured that you are greatly appreciated by the citizens, and you are the backbone of this great nation. We thank you for your service, and we salute you. Okay, serious head off. As I said, my guest today is Will Noonan, but we are hoping that we get a call from Amanda Bynes. We're going to talk about her little contretemps with the Popos in a little while. So when Will calls in, we can get the show started. We got through the announcements very quickly. Everybody here at Xandermonium, who else is there? There's you, Joe. You're part of Xandermonium. You're a listener, so you are part of Xandermonium, and so is Kathy, and anybody that joins us as a part of the show, even though the chat room is quite empty right now. I'm sure that people will be coming in droves once they realize that Amanda Bynes is not going to be calling in. Well, I'm hoping she does. I really do. Other interesting points of note. Oh yeah, Kathy and Joe are saying they're my biggest fans. I'm tempted to sing a line of Paparazzi by Lady Gaga, but I better not, because she'll be wanting some money for me singing it. Yes, but you said everybody here when talking about the servicemen, says Joe. Yeah, I meant everybody colloquially, Joe. Like everybody, not the government, the people. I don't speak for the government. I speak for the people. I speak for the gays too. So I'm still waiting for Will to call in. I'm sure he will call in any second. But while we're waiting for Will to call, I will play you a quick track. Here we go. This is one of my songs. Here we go. God plays his game. 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 The clubs are all the same. The smoke from the cigarette. The heavy sound of discotheque. To the bar, the lonely of heart search for friendship, someone to share the evening with. But when the lights Oh, I don't know what happened there, but it looks like our guest is here. Let's see.
Hello.
Hello, Will. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm great, thank you. That song stopped at just the right time. How's it going with you?
It's going good. Am I late? I thought it was 5:10. 5:10 the right time?
No. You're not late. I just got through the announcements quicker than usual. So, Will, I have to start off by asking you about this car crash in Wendy's. You know, did you drop your fries, and are you okay?
Oh my God, man. Well, yeah. Let me tell this. I'll tell the story quickly.
Okay.
I did a show on Friday night in a movie theater. A lot of movie theaters now are putting comedy shows in one of the empty theaters, like on Friday and Saturday nights, and just filling the seats with people. And you just stand on a stage in the front of the theater and do comedy. So
right.
I was in like a mall type area, and I go to, on a strip mall type thing, I go to the Wendy's. I normally eat my food and drive at the same time, but for some reason this time I decided to stop and eat it. And as I'm sitting there with my engine off, eating my burger, car full of teenage girls, 6 teenage girls, hits me right on my driver's side. I saw it coming right at me, and I had to hit my horn. And she panicked and kind of hit it even more. And then she was so upset. And she was only like 16. She had only had a license for a couple months.
Oh,
and,
whoa!
I felt bad. She was crying, and she was like just a bad driver, and it was a kind of a pain in the ass, but it ended up no big deal really.
Wow. Only you could be in a collision like while not moving, but at least it's something to talk about on stage, isn't it?
I know, and it was like one of those things where it was like they were all like cute chicks, and I mean way too young, but I was just like, wow, this is like, you know, this is not the way you want to be like meeting a bunch of.
Yeah. I bumped into 6 cute chicks, but unfortunately they fucked up my car in the process.
Yeah, they just broke my car and drove away. That was all that happened.
I know. That's not kind of like it's not foreplay, is it? Definitely not.
I should have been like, you know what? We can forget this whole thing with a couple blowjobs.
Let's just settle out of court.
Yeah.
Talking of court, let's talk about our first subject. As you probably know, Amanda Bynes was released from police custody on her own recognizance after appearing in court in New York on Friday. And she's got to go back to court again on July 9th to address the charges. Police say she was arrested in Midtown Manhattan after she heaved a marijuana bong out of the window. I mean, who throws away a perfectly good bong?
That's really dangerous. You don't throw anything out of a window.
36th floor. You know, they reckon even a nickel could hurt someone. So the cops saw heavy smoke and the bong sitting on the counter, which he said was it was a vase. I mean, why would you throw a vase out of the window? So they took her to the Roosevelt Hospital to be evaluated, and they found no reason to keep her. But obviously, her Twitter antics have left even Lindsay Lohan in the shade in recent times, and she posted vulgar tweets to Drake and said she'd had sex with him on set, and Rihanna and Chris Brown, and said, what was it? She said something about the reason he'd beaten her was because she wasn't pretty enough. I mean, what's going on, Will? What do you think is happening? And as an alleged stoner, how do you feel about the bong, the symbol of your religion, being thrown from a window?
Man. Well, it's definitely not alleged. I'm a full-fledged stoner.
Oh, you're an open stoner, are you?
Yeah, but I like to be a good example, I think. You know, I'm a hard worker, and I get up kind of early, and I don't do the typical stoner. I exercise, I'm busy. I'm a busy pothead. But Amanda Bynes, I honestly think, we have a friend in common. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to drag him into the whole mix here, but like he was on her show, her sitcom, for a whole season, and playing like a love interest of hers. And
really,
he always just said the nicest things about her and said she was great. And I just talked to him recently, and he was like, I didn't see any of this kind of stuff. You know, coming. She was just a very normal, nice person. And
wait 1 sec. Sorry to interrupt you, Will. This might be Amanda calling in now. Let's check the caller early on in the show. And the technology is so good here. You click on the hello caller. You're live on Xandermonium, and they've gone. You see, sorry, Will, I interrupted you for nothing. Come on, Amanda, call in. We know it's you. Just speak, chickie. We're here to get your side of the story. Sorry, Will. So your friend was on a show with Amanda Bynes. Was it What I Like About You?
He was, yeah. I don't want to say
I think I know this friend of yours that you're talking about.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned him to you before, but he had a lot of love interest on the show, so it's not like he could have been any one of them, right? But anyway, he always said great things about her, and he had a great time on that show. And then, like, I actually asked him recently when she did something, and he said, I'm surprised about all this. But I remember, like, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, TMZ, like, the first Amanda Bynes story was, like, TMZ. She went into a store. They, like, some TMZ photographer got a photo of her, like, smoking weed in her car at, like, a Home Depot, right? And then she goes into Home Depot. Then she goes into Home Depot, and while she was in there, the photographer went in her car and took photos through the windows in her car. And, like,
are you kidding me? Wow.
Yeah, and then TMZ puts out, like, okay, she's a pothead. She goes to this Home Depot and smokes weed, and look how dirty her car is. And they had, like, lighters and flecks of weed in the car. This was the first thing, you know. So it's kind of like, I think, I mean, first of all, I smoke weed and go to Home Depot. That's like what potheads do. You smoke weed and do things. And I smoke weed in my car, too. And it's like, that's not really that crazy, especially in Southern California, to be smoking weed in your car. But I think the mix, maybe she was having some type of nervous breakdown or is having some type of nervous breakdown. But I definitely think it started out as nothing in the media, like TMZ and stuff. They might be the ones driving her crazy, you know? That's my take.
I think in this country, you know, it's really funny. On my friend Jake Penland, that's Roseanne Barr's son, he had a show yesterday, and he had a guest on called Debbie the Pet Lady from Howard Stern's show, and they were talking on there about how they wind people up, and then they're surprised about the reaction. That's kind of just what brought it to me. But what do you think it is in this country that we have to sensationalize everything?
Yeah, I think it's something we love to do in this country. Is build people up and put them down, and it sucks for her. I mean, if you're a young movie star, you should be allowed to smoke as much weed and do what you fucking want to do. And and you know, she may have had a reaction like, I want to, you know, I'm just gonna find you want to put what I do in the paper, I'll give you something and put in the paper, and then she starts acting crazy and weird. Not to mention, she's been in movies. These kids who grow up on movie sets, they always turn out fucked up.
Yeah. No,
absolutely.
It's a
good example of not to put your kid in show business until they're old.
It's funny. I was saying to my friend today on the phone, I was talking about the show that I was going to be doing with you today. Stephanie, actually. You know Steffi? And basically, I was saying that I think part of the problem is a lot of these child stars, they get money and they get fame, but they lose their childhood. And this is still a teenage girl, and she's actually like in her 30s, really. But I don't think that they kind of grow. They don't get that level of growth that people that go out in the world get. Do you know what I mean? Because they're sheltered, they're isolated, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't think that we make it any easier, you know, for these celebrities. I mean, it's just like Lindsay Lohan. There was someone just before her, and I can't think who it was, but it was someone of a similar ilk.
Britney Spears, I mean, is the best example.
Britney Spears,
She was literally, I think, she had a true nervous breakdown in front of the entire country, probably caused by the entire country. Yeah, and that idiot she was married to, I don't think he was a great help, really, to her. I can't think of his name offhand, but he was some dancer. Yeah, Federline. I just think that he saw the dollar signs, unfortunately, and that's not fair.
In the chat room, Kathy is saying she thinks with Lindsay it's just drugs, but with Amanda it's a bit more than just that. Maybe it's kind of mental illness. But I wonder why in this country we don't. Surely if that was one of our friends, Will, surely we would be going to them and saying, look, let's see if we can get you some help. Let's see if we can get you sorted out, rather than just ignoring it and saying nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, people still don't take mental illness as seriously as they take like a physical illness. If someone was dying of cancer and not going to the doctors, people would like physically put them in a car and force them to go to the doctors. But like
right.
they'll let people go crazy for as long, because no one, there's this inner fear that like crazy is contagious and people just want to stay away from it and sort of
right.
mock it from afar, but not really
Absolutely.
get into it.
I think Kathy just pointed out something interesting in the chat room. She said that Lindsay thinks she's above the law, but I think a lot of celebrities do. The latest accusation from, what's her name, Amanda Bynes, is that, this is from an incident that it keeps changing. So I question what she's saying. It keeps changing, and she said apparently she was sexually assaulted the night before, that some cop had patted her on the vagina, and that's her favorite word. That's kind of like her word du jour. But I don't think that the police nowadays would be so easy to cover things like that up. If she'd have made an accusation like that about a police officer, it would have been investigated.
Not to mention they actually have to touch that's where people hide drugs and weapons. They have to touch people's vaginas and balls. It was probably a female officer.
Yeah, that's funny. Kathy just said that's called a drug search. I see that if they pat you down. Like with Diana Ross, she said the woman at the airport, the security person had touched her breasts. Well, with a woman, they've got to check if you have contraband in your bra, surely,
Yeah. I've had my balls felt at rock concerts by unlicensed people. Probably it's just part of getting searched sometimes.
Yeah, every time I see you, Will, I pat your balls down. It's just a part of the.
I check my own balls like twice an hour.
And are they always still there, or what do you do if they're not?
I just check for tumors and stray hairs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so I know we're drifting off the subject a little bit, but it's so imperative to do that. And I had a scare a couple of years ago, and it frightened the life out of me, and it cost me a lot of money because I didn't have insurance at the time, and I had to go and pay for an ultrasound. I mean, really, it's the first time I paid a black guy to play with my balls. But the price of that kind of peace of mind, you can't put a price on it,
Yeah, no, it's true.
What is who talk? Kathy is saying in the chat room, what is she talking about? Are you referring to Will or I or to Carly, Kathy? I'm not sure.
I just looked up a
Carly.
recent photo of her. I'd like to know why Amanda Bynes got plastic surgery. She was beautiful before it.
Yeah, I always thought she was beautiful. Well, didn't she say when she saw her mugshot she was going to get a better wig and get another nose job? I mean, I think it's all part of this syndrome, really, that people... that kind of that this body dysmorphic, they don't think that they're very good looking. They think they're ugly, et cetera, et cetera.
It's a shame because she's very attractive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't go for women, but I can see that she's good looking, and I've always been a bit of a fan. I mean, I liked her, and what I like about you, and apparently she used to be she had her own show called The Amanda Show, and I guess that being in showbiz all that time, since it must be at least 15, 20 years, must have some effect on your psyche, because you must get to a stage where you don't know who you can trust. I mean, even at our level of our kind of role in the entertainment business, you're always having to be careful, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's just people at any level of anything. Like people always want to take a shot at you if they can, or get you down
absolutely.
somehow.
Yeah. And I think that social media is a kind of a way that a lot of people do that. You know, if they get a nasty tweet from a celebrity, it's like a medal of honor for them. You know.
No, I just got involved in something like that on Twitter like a few days ago, and then I blocked the guy, and then I ended up looking back at his shit, and it was like him tweeting about how he felt stupid about it and how he felt like an idiot for like being such an asshole. And it's like that's usually the case, you know. I
can't talk. You know, I get into some Twitter fights, and I kind of mourn my behavior after because I think, you know, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have kind of let it go so far. But I'm the first one to admit I have a problem. If you attack me, then the sluice gate's open, and it's something I'm trying to work on. But it is very hard because when you are kind of in the public eye, I'm not saying I'm an A-list celebrity, but you know, I have a radio show and I am kind of known in New York and stuff. And when people do know you, they do kind of attack you. And I always think that it's because of one of two things. It's because they're afraid of you or because they're jealous of you. Because, you know, why else would they need to do it, you know? Let me just give out the phone number once more because I would hope that maybe Cheeky's going to call in. 347-884-9061. 347-884-9061 if you want to talk about Amanda Bynes, Justin Bieber, or any of the subjects today, or you want to tell Will how hot you think he is, or if you want a signed picture of him, then give us a call on 347-884-9061.
You know, I just did my first. Someone asked me for a signed picture, and I mailed it to them. I just had that happen for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a milestone moment.
Yeah, I think when I always kind of think that when people say, "Oh, can I get your autograph?" I'm just like, "Are you talking to me?" Do you know what I mean? It's
it's
like,
crazy.
I often.
Sometimes it happens right after shows, and I get that because it's like you just saw me do comedy, so. And sometimes I open for famous people, so they're already getting autographs, you know. So it's like, oh, not his too. So I get that, and I'm like, yeah, cool, no problem. But it always, when this guy actually sent me like a letter. It must have been a kid because it sounded like a kid. You know, it was just like, I'm a fan of your podcast and your comedy, and here's my address, and please send me an autographed picture. And I was like, yeah,
that's really nice.
I was so happy. It took I sent him like a nice letter back. I was thrilled, man. He made my day.
That's cool. Sorry, let me just interrupt you once more. We've got a caller. Hello, caller. You're live on Xandermonium. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Xander. It's Anne from California.
Hi, Anne from California. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fabulous. You're on the line with myself and comedian Will Noonan. This is Anne, my friend from California. So I started calling in about...
Hi.
Well, hi to you. I thought you were going to call and weigh in on this Amanda Bynes situation.
Oh, poor thing. I don't know what to think.
I mean, as a parent, you must kind of see this from a different angle, and because it's like if this was one of your kids. You know, I know you have a son that's into acting. If this was one of your children, I think that, you know, the reaction that you would have would be totally different, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, it just saddens me because I remember her when my kids were younger. They used to watch the Amanda Show.
Yeah.
Right.
And I always thought, wow, you know, because Brian was kind of just getting into that whole improv type of thing, and I think that's why he really liked it, because he was probably about her age or a little bit younger, and I always used to sit there with them and think, look, we could do a little show like that. Look at how fun that is. But I don't know what happens to some of these kids. They just either don't know how to handle the fame or they haven't had a real good upbringing, and they just kind of go by the wayside. Either that or she might have some sort of mental illness, and I think mental illness is just overlooked so
Absolutely.
So much is out of control. It just really is. So I'm not really sure.
We've talked about that quite a lot on this show about mental illness, with the shootings and stuff. When that kid went and shut up that school and stuff, you're so right. In this country, we're happy to talk about gun control and all of these other things, but I think we're a little bit afraid of mental illness because it's just not a comfortable subject to talk about, is it?
Well, we have to talk about it because otherwise there's not going to be any change, and people are going to continually get hurt. And it's great to close your eyes, but that's not going to help anything. And people usually close their eyes to things they don't want to deal with, and that's when we get in trouble. It's like anything.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm dealing with the same stuff out here with animal rescue. People just continue to close their eyes to what the real problem is, and that's idiot pet owners, idiot breeders, and who suffers? The ones that don't have a voice. It's the same.
I just want to say,
I'm
sitting here with a rescued dog right now.
Good for you, Will.
Two of them.
So aren't we all great?
Rescue dogs are the best. They're the best.
They are good.
So
I see some of these videos on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and stuff about what people do to animals, and I kind of think the penalty should be, and I'm told that this is harsh, but I think that the penalty should be to have the same done to them what they do to the animal.
Exactly.
That's what we say daily. Might make them not do this shit again,
It's true. Well, like the most recent one here that people have been talking about is the mentally ill man who tied his dog alive to the railroad tracks because he couldn't take care of him.
Oh my God!
And fortunately, the dog was saved before it was too late by somebody.
Wow!
But I hear this stuff every single day. Every single day, I get emails about it, and all we do is we share information and we try to educate people. The whole thing about the pit bulls, or what we like to call the bullshit legislation, BSL,
right.
Because it's just ridiculous. It's not the animal. I see them daily on a daily basis. They are the nicest dogs. But when you go to a rescue and you save one, or a shelter and you save one that's had its ears cut off and he's full of injuries because he's been used as a bait dog,
wow.
So whose fault is it? No, these poor dogs don't have a voice, and they continue to be targeted. That they're the bad ones, and anytime there's a biting or an attack, and it's a pit bull, right away they go after the dog, and not after the idiot owners.
No, and the concern. I think the concern is some people are afraid to say anything. I saw when I lived in London, I saw this guy kicking his dog, and he was like really giving out good kicking, and I had to say something. I couldn't not say something, and then he wanted to hit me because I told him. I said, I actually called the cops because for me, it's one thing if you're fighting with another person, they can defend themselves. What can an animal do?
Exactly. It's sad. But anyway, I know. But I just wanted to call in and say hi, so now I know how to do this.
Thank you, Ann. That's really nice of you to call in. I know that you're on your way out because you said earlier that you were. But thank you so much for calling, and I hope you call in again.
Great to talk to you.
Okay,
I
great
will.
to talk to you too. See you in New York very soon, hopefully.
I hope. Or you come to California.
All right. Thanks a lot. Definitely.
Bye, Will.
Lots of love.
Bye, Xander. Bye, Will. Bye.
That was my friend Anne from California. As she said, she loves animals and she is quite active in animal rescue.
She was great.
Which leads, she's wonderful. You should follow her on. I'll send you a friend recommendation on Facebook. Every day she's got some animals she's trying to rescue, and it's really commendable because most of us don't do very much to help other people, but this woman never stops. Which leads us perfectly into the next subject. Have you heard of cat bearding?
I have.
You have. Well, it was only a matter of time.
You, right?
I know. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it on the internet. I thought we really have to talk about this. Basically, it's very simple. You position your cat in front of your chin, and that's it. You take a picture, so it looks like the cat's chin is kind of like your chin. So for people who kind of are in the chat room, like scratching their heads and saying, what the hell is this all about? I'm just sharing a link right now to it. But just, have you seen some of the pictures? I mean, the pictures are just like, hilariously funny. It looks like the cat's face is part of the person's face who's taking the picture. And it's another one of these like silly phenomenons. And there's a Tumblr blog called catbeard.com, and they've collected a range of the cat beard pictures from vertical and expertly positioned so the cat's mouth like becomes your mouth. Where do people get these ideas from?
I think this one must have happened by accident. I think I saw the original picture on Reddit the other day, and it was like some girl was just taking a picture of her face, and her cat jumped in, and it just happened to be a cat beard, and then it just caught on after that, I think.
Right. And then I think that everybody's going to end up doing them like until the next kind of phenomenon. What was it? There was a couple of months ago. There was something else with dogs. I can't remember what it was. There was some craze, another craze with dogs. But I just think I often think, who comes up with this shit? You know?
Oh man, that's the beauty of the internet. It's like remember. It's the same way with like street jokes. You know, when you hear a joke, like some tragedy would happen, and you hear a joke right after. You're like, who comes up with that? It's just you still never know where these things come from.
Yeah, I think someone kind of must be sitting there like stoned off their box, saying, let's kind of think about what the next really crazy phenomenon could be. I mean, you can see a stoner coming up with that, can't you? No disrespect, Will, of course.
No, I take no disrespect.
I think that some people like with animals. That was it. The dressing animals up, but that's been popular for quite a while. But I don't think we used to have a cat, but I never would have like wanted to dress it up or make it look stupid. I mean, my cat would have scratched your face off rather than let you put it in any clothes, or it's hard enough grooming him, never mind dressing him up in clothes.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know if I could get, if I'm that coordinated to wrangle an animal and snap a photo at the same time.
No. It probably takes 2 or 3 people to
Hey, I'm looking at your chat room here. I want to say thank you to Sleep Disney too for saying she likes my memes, because I put a lot of work into it.
It's a guy. His name is Austin.
I don't know why I assumed she.
You just think because I'm a homo that all my followers are going to be girls, so don't you? That's what it is.
But, I was thinking of Sleeping Beauty, and a lot of my followers are girls too, Xander, so, it is
right.
what it is.
Hey, I don't care. Ladies. I'm just happy to have followers, girls, guys, gay guys, dogs, illegal immigrants, whoever it is, I really don't care. Just follow me.
I'll take them all, man.
Yeah, me too. I think it's flattering enough that people bother to listen to and watch you and come to your shows without, I don't want to turn into Ann Coulter. No Mexicans. Don't follow me if you're Mexican.
I just worked with her ex-boyfriend, Jimmy Walker,
You're joking.
They used
did he say she was frigid?
He didn't talk about it at all.
You wouldn't, would you? It's enough that people know that you've dated her. I mean, can you imagine that? That's a real conversation stopper. Hey, I used to date Ann Coulter. Oh well, moving swiftly on.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was the closest I'd ever been to Ann Coulter. That's for sure. It was weird.
Kathy is in the chat room saying she hates him. Who do you hate? Ann Coulter's ex-boyfriend? Is that who you're talking about? When I glance back at no, I'm sure she doesn't hate you. She doesn't know you well enough to hate you. Let her get to know you. Right. She's talking about this guy that was on that was on Jake Pentland's show yesterday, called Todd Kincannon. Have you heard of him? He's like a Republican pundit that offensive to lots of people. I'm not a fan. I heard him. What?
I hate pundits in general.
Yeah, me too.
It's a crappy way to make a living.
It's one thing to kind of like have an opinion, but when your opinion is like has a nasty edge to it, it's you're getting paid to hate, really, aren't you? And talking of paid to hate, or people that we all seem to hate, did you hear about Snooki and JWoww and their altercation with Governor Chris Christie at the Jersey Shore?
No, I saw that they were there. I didn't know there was an altercation. I saw that they were there for the dedication.
I say altercation. They had words, and Chris Christie had said apparently that they were bad for Jersey. I mean, they're not just that bad for Jersey; they're bad for America. Kick them out, as far as I'm concerned. But Snooki and Governor Christie have been having this ongoing Twitter spat, and they met after taping separate events on the Today Show to celebrate the reopening of the boardwalk that had been destroyed by Hurricane Sandy. And she said, I wanted to meet you, and I just hope you start to like us. This is Snooki. And Governor Christie said, well, we'll do our best. I mean, you can't expect everybody to like you. And especially with Snooki, she's not kind of like, she's not someone I like, really.
Yeah. No, I'm not a fan. But, I don't give a shit. If people want to watch that crap, let them watch it. And the Jersey Shore actually probably did benefit from that show. I'm sure tourism. I mean,
I'm sure.
They have a lot of stuff there, but I'm sure a lot of people, it reinvigorated the Jersey Shore as like a tourist destination. So
I'm sure it did. Can you just can you just confirm something for Joe in the chat room? Did you say Jimmy, as in J.J. Walker, used to go out with Ann Coulter?
That's him. She should Google.
Yeah, that's the one, Joe.
There's a million pictures of them on the internet together, and I just worked with him the last couple of weeks.
Wow. That was when he was going through his Nazi fetish, obviously.
Well, he goes on O'Reilly a lot. He's a very conservative guy himself. So.
Really?
Not a secret. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he was an okay guy to work with.
So even, this is the thing for me. I never watched the Jersey Shore. Everybody kind of raved about it. I saw a couple of guys that were from it at a party, and they introduced themselves, and I was like, yeah, and I was supposed to know them. What's his name? The one who always says about gym tanning and laundry. I can't think what his name is.
The Situation.
The Situation. He's now a DJ or some MC or something anyway. But he said, he was telling me, he's like, I'm a Situation from Jersey Shore, and it was like right over my head, because if you don't watch the show, you don't know, do you?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and also, how drunk are you when you're watching the show? Then, how much of it will you remember? It's a whole other thing.
Yeah, because you have to be, it's like the Kardashians. You have to be, at least mainlining cocaine to be able to watch a full episode. I mean,
I always thought they should have never, the biggest mistake was they did the first season and it was good, and then they kept them, like they did another year in Jersey, and then they sent them to Miami. They should have sent them to Italy right away.
Yeah, and made them stay there.
Yeah, because once it was a show about a bunch of famous kids, it started to stink, because they had egos and they weren't just happy to be there anymore,
Yeah, I think reality TV tends to destroy a lot of people, but I think eventually we see through them. I mean, I'm not a promoter of hate, don't get me wrong, but I really cannot stand the Kardashians now. I think it's because we've been force-fed them, like night and day, for so long that I don't want to even hear their name anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm. I absolutely know what you mean. Yeah.
I think a part of it for me is that, like you and I, when you work in the entertainment industry, and these people that just walk in off the street and they've got no discernible talent, like this skank Snooki. What did she do? What's she done apart from this show? I mean, is she even a member of a union? Well,
now she's got cosmetics line and all sorts of stuff.
I love your mascara. Is it Snooki?
Yeah.
Didn't she? Because she used to wear that hair with the bump, didn't she? I mean, when I hear Snooki talking about bumps, I think she's referring to drugs. But she used to have this thing on her hair, but she used to sell a Snooki headband thing. I mean, I think I guess you've got to kind of build on the name that you've made for yourself. But these people just don't really do a lot for me. Carly in the chat room's trying to talk to you, Will. She's saying, "Hi, Will."
I see her. Hello there, Carly. Hey.
Carly is this. We all listen to this show once a week called the Jake Pentland Show, and there's this kind of like group of people we all get together. We're in this group called the Cult of Jake, and Carly is one of the people that is involved with that group. So cool, I think you've got a new fan now. Oh, even though she's telling me to shut up. Right, let me just kick her out of chat now. And Kathy says she's not in the cult.
Oh, that's all
okay, Kathy. I didn't say she was. I said she was like one of those people that's kind of involved. But moving swiftly on, from one group of assholes to a very young asshole. Talk about Justin Bieber, who's never out of the headlines of late, and he took home two trophies at the Billboard Music Awards, but he certainly wasn't a winner when it came to the audience vote. And I'm left wondering if, being in a number of controversial incidents this year already have contributed to the fact that he was booed, when he was accepting his milestone award. I mean,
you know what? He's just like a flashy. You ever buy like a flashy T-shirt and you're like, I love this T-shirt, and you wear it, and then it gets dirty, you throw it in your pile of dirty clothes, and then you kind of are washing clothes, and you're like, oh, I hate this T-shirt. Why did I ever buy it? I don't even want it anymore. That's like how the world feels about Justin Bieber now, I think.
And I think it's a shame, but I think that I honestly think that he wants to be Michael Jackson. And as part of that, all the things he's doing are making him not very popular. Like leaving his monkey in Germany and things like that. I mean, to me, that is just hilarious. I saw a headline saying, Bieber leaves monkey in Germany. I thought, well, what is that a euphemism for,
I know a guy, I heard a story from a guy who's like out in Los Angeles. He's a comedian. And he said that Justin Bieber went into a show at the Comedy Store in L.A., and you know how famous people, they usually try and keep a low profile?
Yeah.
He actually had his manager ask the host of the show to announce that he was there at the show watching. And I was like, geez, man, how much attention how much attention does a guy need? Yeah.
I mean, clearly lots, but I think when you are a big star, because he is a superstar now, whether you like him or not, I think that you want to kind of remain incognito. But I think that the things he's doing are not making him as popular as he would like. It's like he gets he kind of gets attention, but it's the wrong kind of attention.
Well, now he wants critical acclaim. He's always had popularity amongst his fans. Now he's probably tired of that and he wants to be treated seriously as an artist now, which is almost a laughable joke.
Right.
Because that's like, a cheeseburger wanting to be treated like a steak. It's just not how it works.
No, absolutely. And did you see recently in the news as well that apparently everyone that goes to his house as a guest has to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and he was criticized for this by the Pops. But I mean, I understand I'm getting employees to sign a confidentiality agreement. I mean, I'm sure you're the same as me. Well, all of my staff have to sign a confidentiality agreement because the stories they could tell.
I hear that's
just people that
common.
For people that are visiting your house?
For like super celebrities.
Wow.
Like guys like, Brad Pitt, and I hear that's really common because now with cell phones and everything like that, it's kind of something they got to do to keep their image under control. You know, you don't want someone in there.
Right.
If you have a big enough party and someone just brings someone, you could definitely have them going around your house, like, photographing everything. But it was extreme. And I read the whole thing online, and there was one thing in there about, like, if you get hurt or you die, you can't sue me, and I'm not responsible. And I was like, wow, imagine, like. But
that's a crazy disclaimer. It really is, because I would rather not go somewhere if I had to sign to say, I mean, you know, what if it's their fault?
Yeah, exactly.
Kathy in the chat room is talking about some guy that's trying to blacken. Sorry, I shouldn't say blacken. To cause. I'm working on 2 hours sleep, Will. I've got insomnia. I knew the show would either be fabulous or a freaking car crash. About some guy that's trying to make Michael Jackson's name bad because of things he's saying that he did when he was alive, and he's trying to get money.
I saw that.
Do you know the name of the person? By any chance, Kathy?
He's a choreographer guy. I saw him on.
Right.
Saw him on
I
TV.
love you too, Joe.
His little fame lantern is flickering, and he's trying to do anything he can to stay relevant. I
hate that shit. Really, I do.
Yeah. Oh, me too, bro.
It kind of. I just, you know, like when I lived in London, I used to get invited to quite a lot of parties where there were a lot of celebrities, you know, doing drugs, doing stuff. And if you went once and you kind of talked about it, you would never be invited again.
Of course.
It's that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's that kind of clique where if you don't kind of say nothing and just go along with it, you never get kind of a foot in the door again, because who wants to snitch at their party, you know, if you're doing
well, I mean, I think that's how people who have, you know, people who date famous women or have famous friends, that's how they keep them. It's by not talking about it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think any friendship.
Yeah, of course.
You gotta trust. You gotta trust your friends.
I would never tell people about the things that I've seen you doing backstage, Will. I mean,
no way.
You know,
that's
how good a friend I am to you, dude.
You should see the contract I make people sign. It's they have to sign it in their own blood, and it's 15,000 pages long.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I make those girls who hit my car sign.
I know. Did you? I hope you're gonna get. Are they gonna pay for your damage, or are they just gonna kind of pay you in sexual favors for the next 25 years?
It's all covered by insurance. Thank goodness.
Wait, Joe is saying, but Xander, how long ago was that? Did everyone have a phone that takes great pictures? No, this was like, I've been back in New York for over 10 years. It was like 15 years ago. And the camera phones were shit back then, so no, definitely not. Yep, Joe says Will is funny, which is great because you're a comedian.
That is good. Yeah, you know what? I have a podcast.
See, it's working, Will.
Check it out. If anyone wants to check out my weekly podcast.
Tell everybody, use this opportunity, tell everybody where they can find your podcast and stuff.
My podcast is called Hypothetically, as in, hypothetically I smoke pot, high is how I get, pathetically is how I feel. That's kind of a joke. And,
it's working.
Hypothetically with Will Noonan. It's on iTunes and Stitcher Radio on your phone. You can listen to it on your iPhone or Android. And May was the most popular month I've ever had this month. I'm on episode 42 this week, and it's kind of like a personal diary. I take the recorder with me on the road. I take it to all my shows, and I cut it together, and it's nice. People like it. I have a lot of
thanks, Austin. Austin's just put a link to your page for people to go and click like.
Nice. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, that Stitcher's good. I just became a partner there, and my show is on there now too. It's a good deal. You actually get more from your show being on there than you do from Blog Talk Radio from their advertising revenue.
You know, another good one that you might want to get involved in is Butterfly Radio. I do stuff with them. That's another iPhone app, and people can leave people can leave messages for the show at any time.
Oh, really?
And you can thus play those messages on the show. So like,
wow.
It's like having your own call-in radio anytime you want. It's really good.
That sounds really good. Yeah, they just followed me, and I DM'd them and said, I found you through Will Noonan, and so they should give you $50 or something for the referral.
I actually when I did a show down in New York, the creator of the app actually came and we talked, and he's a great guy. I'm into Butterfly Radio. I'm always trying to get people to use it. Yeah, it's a good time, man.
I've been doing some marketing stuff this last week and the last couple of weeks, and that was there on my list to kind of sign up to. And it's funny, just as I was about to go and try and find the stuff, they followed me on Twitter, and it was like a bit Twilight Zone-esque, as it were.
Twitter is so crazy, man. The way it's like the stock market with the booms and the swoons. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get 1 million. Sometimes people love you. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's very fickle as well. I think sometimes people are, sometimes people are really nice, and sometimes people are really bitchy. Woe betide if you don't retweet someone's tweet. You're in big doo-doo for not retweeting and favoriting. I put stuff out all the time, and I favorite everyone's shit, but it's never kind of reciprocal enough,
No, and if you say the wrong thing, like I've stopped even like swearing, because I noticed every time I swore, I lost like 200 followers.
Wow.
Every time I drop like an F word, lost a lot.
That's ridiculous.
Of yeah.
I cut down on a lot of the gay stuff because people said that they were offended by that, and I never. There is an element of the comedy that I do that wants to shock, but I don't want to offend. But let's face it, some people are a little kind of easily offended, as it were.
Yeah, but you know what's weird though? It's an ironic kind of juxtaposition to the gay thing. It's like if I tweet about sports too much, people get really upset too, and they unfollow and they're like, stop talking about sports, asshole. Like, some people, I think, too much of anything they don't like, or too much of, like, they don't want to hear about anything they don't care about. So whether it's gayness or sports or religion, they're just like, fuck you, I don't want that.
And it's kind of weird, but it's like they set the precedent. You know that movie I was in a couple of years ago, that short film, Killer Tranny. It went kind of... I was going to say postal, but that's when the mail worker goes and shoots someone. It went viral. That's the word I'm looking for. And, in lots of different countries, and everybody kind of wanted to talk about it. But then it got to a point where people were bored with it, and I was bored with it too. But then a couple of weeks ago, someone came up to me when I was in the city and said, "Are you the Killer Tranny?" And I was like, I wasn't sure how to answer because I thought, are you going to shoot me? What are you going to do?
Yeah, nowadays. Better watch out.
Austin says he will never be bored with Killer Tranny. He's one of my Killer Tranny people. They took it off the internet because the producer, the writer, the director, they were kind of moving in different fields now. So I put it back on because people wanted to see it, So
yeah, of course. Well, you get killer man, you get killer women, but how rarely do you get both at the same time? That's just great.
Well, I think, it's kind of seen as an offensive terminology, and I've had so much shit about it, and I didn't even write it. So it's offensive to gays, it's offensive to men, it's offensive to women. Great. I've offended everybody now, so that's great. Are you smoking weed, Will, and are you going to share it with the chat room because it's only polite?
Yeah. I was going to say I am. I just inhaled and exhaled marijuana. So.
Wow, I'm just getting a contact high. Joe's just said in the chat room, I thought we're not allowed to say tranny anymore. No, tranny is offensive, but this was used in an artistic way, and I didn't write it. Austin just said in the chat room, LOL apples. I don't know what the frick that means.
But, that's a joke of mine. That's a joke of mine that's very popular with people.
Ah, right. That was directed at you. I'm just going to give out the. I'm going to just give out the number again, but then you can tell us about apples. If you want to call in and speak to Will or I, the number is 347-884-9061. We are getting towards the time where we will talking about What's Your Beef. If you want to call in and tell us who's pissed you off this week, maybe it's me, maybe it's Will, maybe it's Amanda Bynes, or maybe it's someone from the cult of Jake. Maybe it's even Jake. Did I dare say that? I'm just joking before everybody runs away and tells Jake I was talking shit about him. So tell us, about apples.
Excuse me. Well, the joke goes kind of like, people who used to smoke pot a lot, but they quit at a certain point, they still kind of want to maintain their, street cred with current pot smokers. So they'll say, if they see you smoking pot at a party, they'll be like, "Oh, you smoking weed over there? It smells good." And you'll be like, "Yo, do you want a hit of this?" And they'll always go, "Oh, no, I don't do that anymore, but I used to, and I really loved it." I'm always like, "That's so annoying. You don't do that with other stuff. You don't see someone walking down the street eating an apple, run up to them and go, 'Oh, I love apples too, buddy.'" And then they go, "Do you want a bite of this apple?" You go, No, I don't eat apples anymore. But man, back in college, me and my buddies, we used to put away about a bushel of apples every night. In fact, we used to listen to Fiona Apple in New York City, the Big Apple. But you know what they say, one bad apple spoils the bunch. So you have.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, that's the bit. I haven't done. I should bring that joke back because people always bring it up as one of their favorites, and I don't do it all the time anymore. So
I tend to steal jokes and kind of gay them up because obviously when I'm on stage, I haven't done stand-up for so long, but when I do, most of my stuff is about gay stuff. And when you were saying it, I thought, yeah, I could say, oh, you like cock? Yeah, I did a lot of cock in college. That kind of thing. Joe just asked me in the chat room if I'm afraid of Jake. No, I'm not afraid of Jake. It was a joke. The show is supposed to be funny today. No, I'm not afraid of Jake Pentland. Jake, that's for you.
Who the fuck is Jake? What are you talking about?
Jake is the host of the Jake Pentland Show. He's Roseanne Barr's son. Did I tell you that Roseanne Barr blocked me on Twitter?
Yes.
It's become like a standing joke, So she blocked me. First of all, she stopped following me because her name was in a thread that I was in, and then she turned around and was calling everybody Tubby, and she's no Slim Seer girl herself. So I said, "Hey Tubby, why did you stop following me?" So the bitch blocked me.
I block people pretty easily now. So
that's my claim to fame for the week, that I've been blocked by Roseanne Barr the blocker. But it's all good. So, Will, what do you make of this? This with the Boy Scouts of America have now announced that they're okay with having gay boys in there.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know many gay boys, like kids that are gay, that will come out and say, "Hello, dear, I'm a homosexual and I want to be in the Boy Scouts." That young. Yeah. So to me, it's like token, But the ban on gay adults remains in force, and liberal Scout leaders, as well as gay rights group, plan to continue pressing for an end to the end of these to the exclusion rights, even though the Boy Scouts of America's top officials are saying that that's definitely, not going to happen. What's the big deal about? Does it mean just because someone's gay, are they a threat to children? What's the issue? You don't go there to teach people to be gay. You go there to teach people to be a Boy Scout.
Well, it's also, I think, kind of an arbitrary rule in today's world because the same kid could have a gay teacher or an openly gay soccer coach or a friend with openly gay parents, or anywhere in this kid's life he could know a gay person at any part of the country he lives in, and where the Boy Scouts of America are. So they're kind of really just only hurting themselves by maintaining this old-fashioned sort of thing. But they're also a Christian organization, so they've never really come out and said we're a Christian organization, but they are. So
no,
I think their hand is forced right now.
Aren't they backed by your law? Aren't they a Catholic organization?
Yeah, I mean, I was in the Boy Scouts when I was a kid, and I remember God talk. You know,
right?
I went in a church basement.
Tell us more.
Yeah, I mean, boy, I got the best. You know, I gave a lot of hand jobs to a lot of grown men, and you know, I learned a lot. It was a great experience.
Me too, but I was in the guides. I was in the Girl Guides Association, or the Brownies.
Made a soapbox.
Yeah, I thought when they said about the brownies, I thought this was. I was like, ooh, pot brownies. They're like, no, it's an organization for girls. I'm like, I'm girly. Does that count?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like my dad, I think we went to the Boy Scouts 2 or 3 times, and me and my dad both were like, "This sucks. Let's not do this." And we just agreed.
Homos. Let's get out of here.
Like these guys are queers. No,
yeah, total queers. Facts. Joe in the chat room says, I am the mother of an Eagle Scout, and I'm just furious about all of this Boy Scout. I think it was bullshit. Kind of glad I did not know about it when my kids were Scouts. I have had to force them to quit. It's not just Catholics, it's Mormons too, Baptists. Damn Baptists. They are all affiliated with churches. You help out the church, and they give you a building to hold your meetings. You know me well. I don't have a problem with God. You know, I'm quite spiritual. But when I get pissy is when people try to proselytize and force that on people. You know, gay people don't go around and say, "Would you like to know about being gay?" But they do this with religion. You know.
It's true. No, it's true, and. You know, I think it's a lot of people who get into religion, they've been through something tough. People who get into religion late in life, and they've been through something tough, and then they just need to force it upon everyone somehow because they're just so jazzed up on their newfound sort of faith. But I don't know what the deal with the Boy Scouts is, because it's so weird for something that's supposed to be team building and like this whole thing that's bonding and learning and always being like ready for a situation, and then like being exclusionary when it comes to that. It seems weird. Like, dude,
I was just thinking like all this with colorful neckerchiefs, and do you know this my friend's kid who was a Boy Scout said to me, and this was really funny. I had to go look up to see what he was talking about. He said, "Would you like to see my woggle?" And I went, "What? Do I want to see your what?" Well, a woggle is a little bit of plastic that, or whatever it's made of, that you put the bits of the tie, the necktie through. I mean, it's really funny. Yeah, it's kind of gay anyway. The Scouts, as far as I'm concerned, you know, colorful neckerchiefs.
You know, I don't know who's the mother of Joanne out in the room. She has a son who's an Eagle Scout. Like, I don't know how. Don't you always just want to fucking burst out laughing when you see the grown men in the Boy Scout uniform? Because like the den leader guy always wears that uniform, and mine was like this really fat guy, so he looked like doubly like kind of just like, dude, where did you get this thing? Did you sew like 9 Boy Scout uniforms together?
Right.
Like, that always cracks me up. And they always look like a little bit, like when you see the other dads talking to the dad in the Boy Scout uniform, he always looks a little bit like, yeah, I know I look like a fucking idiot right now.
Yeah, and they always wear those trousers that talk to you, don't you? They make this noise as they walk. It goes, Boy Scouts, Boy Scouts, Boy Scouts.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to question what kind of guy would really sign up for that.
Yeah.
It's very weird, man.
Yeah.
I know they care about their kids and everything, but
Joe's kids were in these the Eagle Scouts when they were younger, and she says she did Cubbies, but dads go to Boy Scouts.
Yeah. I
mean, I have no kids.
I know the Girl Scouts do. My nieces are Girl Scouts, and they love it, and they have a great time there.
Oh, I love Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, don't we all?
I'm sorry, but, like, they are Estonia's delight. It's like you knock on the door of Estonia, stoner if you're selling Girl Scout cookies, and they're like, how many boxes do you have? 25. I'll take them all.
How many gay chefs have concocted the recipes for Girl Scout cookies? Do you think? Probably at least a couple.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. I in the bar where we used to both work, this woman used to come around selling them for her kids. And Christy and I used to stock up on them when they would come in, but they're just so tasty. I mean, I've never been able to find cookies like them anywhere else.
It's true. Well, women make great cookies. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Face it.
Yeah. Hey, I never trust
change.
a thin chef. You know that, don't you? If someone's making food for you and they're thin, the food is going to be shit. You know that, don't you?
That's actually, I know I'm stoned right now, but that is actually kind of an interesting concept when you think about it. Like women being matronly, and a cookie is kind of like a loving type of food, a comfort food, and it's made by women. Very interesting. And girls, the Girl Scouts just sell them.
Do you get the munchies, Will? Do you get to a point where you, because every time I haven't smoked for a long time, but when I used to get the munchies and used to have stuff stocked up. I have to have stuff stocked up in the house, so you didn't have to go out and get them, because it also makes you a lazy ass too. Well, it did me anyway. But what's your favorite thing when you have the munchies? Or can it be anything? Because I know it was for me, even pickles.
No, it's a class. I am a huge Oreo cookie guy and Milano cookies, those two. If you look at my Instagram, there's a lot of nights in hotel rooms where I'm by myself, and I don't drink anymore. So I put the milk on ice like it's champagne, and I let it chill for an hour, and then I'll dip the Oreos or Milanos in there, and it's like a whole thing. I love it.
And do you share? Do you share?
Yeah. I mean, I'm almost always alone. I'm a loner when it comes to my Oreo eating, because I like to eat them. This is the worst possible time, but I like to eat them late at night, before I go to bed.
I think anything is tasty when you're stoned, though, because I've even eaten beetroot from a jar. Like beets when they slice them up and they pickle them. I've even eaten that from a jar when there's been nothing else in the house, and that's been just the most tastiest thing on the planet.
I was just thinking the other day, it's almost like you've never really heard a song and you've never really tasted a food until you've done it stoned, because that really deepens the whole experience for you, I think.
Absolutely.
Taco Bell is another favorite.
I love Taco Bell.
Yeah, I'll go there. I'll drive 20 minutes out of my way on the road for a Taco Bell. And I have a really high metabolism, so I've never really other than
me not so much.
Yeah. When I drank a lot, well, that's another joke of mine. I say I'm pretty skinny. My metabolism is also high for most of the day.
I wish my metabolism was high. I really do. Joe wants to know how come you're not fat.
No, I think that's why. And I also am kind of I'm very I don't sit still for very long. I'm a very active person. Keeping the metabolism going on.
I'm saying absolutely nothing to all of this. Notice.
The only time I was ever fat was when I was the heaviest I ever was 180, and I was drinking tons of beer all the time, and that was it happened so subtly I didn't even realize until I came home, and my grandmother was kind of getting really old, and she couldn't see so well, and she didn't even know that I was sitting in the room, and she was like, Will's gotten really fat. And I just was and I was, when I looked around and I saw everyone was avoiding eye contact with me, I was like, holy shit, I must be. And then I looked in the mirror and I was like, I guess I'm fat. And it was kind of funny. It was my license photo is from that period of time.
Believe me, I'm so fat. I'm viewable from space. I tell you. I mean, I've lost weight and I'm still losing weight, but it's hard. It is very hard to be healthy and stuff. But I'm getting there.
there's a study now that says potheads are skinnier because the weed has a
I saw that
in it. And also, I know that a lot of boxers now, there's a pill you can take. It's like a marijuana pill. It doesn't make you high, but it does give you the hunger and the metabolism boost. So a lot of boxers and UFC fighters have been taking that and then getting in trouble because it's illegal. So
they in England, they instead of giving like medical marijuana licenses, they had a pill form for people to take, but I don't think it had the same effect. I just like that. Well, not anymore, but I used to just like that kind of like glow that you get. You know.
No, me too. I'm a big fan.
almost to the point of where you're just kind of gonna, you know, go to sleep, as it were. But let's talk a little bit about our last subject before we go. I'm just going to give the number out once more, but I don't think anybody's going to dare call in. Not even Jimmy Noonan's called in today. Good old, reliable Jimmy Noonan.
Tonight's like
347
because people are. It's a holiday weekend, so a lot of people are going out tonight.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, the bars were all very quiet this weekend too. Not that I frequent them that much. So the number, if you want to call us, this is the last kind of like bit of the show. It's 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061 if you want to talk about anything that we've talked about today. If you want to rebuke Jo for her comments about Taco Bell tasting like Doritos and dog food. No, that's not what she said. She said someone wanted Taco Bell but couldn't go, and so they ate Doritos and dog food. That put me off going to Taco Bell today. And also, if you want to talk about Amanda Bynes or you want to say hi to Will, feel free to give us a call, 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061. So our very last topic of the day is, I don't know if you've heard about this, Will, but Charlie Sheen apparently is in a new movie called Machete Kills, and he's going to be billed by his birth name, Carlos Estevez. Though Sheen said last year he doesn't wake up feeling Latino because he's a white American guy. It seems that once again he's ready to embrace his Latino heritage after changing his name to Charlie at the age of 4. And though it was really, he said he really wanted to piss his dad off by changing his name, he's going back to Carlos Estevez. And his brother Emilio kept his birth name. I mean, do we really care anymore? I mean, are we that interested?
I'm sure he's doing it just for this one movie because Machete takes place in Mexico, and it's going to be a lot of Spanish stuff in the movie. So he's probably just doing it to get in on that gimmick a little bit and create some buzz for the movie. I kind of, Charlie Sheen, I think he realizes that none of this Hollywood shit is to be taken too seriously, and he just is playing it like a game and just having, he's in that unique situation where he has proven with that second show, Anger Management, that he can handle doing whatever the fuck he wants and still create really popular television shows.
Absolutely.
So, why really, who gives a shit? He's just trying to, in his own weird way, he's almost like a pro wrestler. He kind of plays the heel for America, gives them someone they love to hate but also kind of love to love. And that's his style, I think. He's good at it.
What do you think it is about America? Because they think it's totally different in the UK. If you fuck up in the UK, it takes so much longer to be able to get back, in the public's good books. But here, it's like, you've only got to, fart next to a senior to get forgiven for any, for any misdemeanor.
That's recent, though, because now the news cycle is just like a day. It's like a 24-hour thing. So it's like Tracy Morgan will, say something bad in a comedy club on Saturday and be apologizing it on television on Tuesday, and he'll be forgiven and ready by the next week, you know?
Yeah, new series of his own on Logo by Friday after talking shit about the gay community. I mean, it's fickle, but it's America, isn't it? You know, I think it's kind of it's what we've come to expect almost.
They always coincide with I mean, Tracy Morgan, she always has these sort of like, he's getting a divorce, or he's quitting drinking, or he's dealing with molestation, and it's always around the time his movie's coming out. And it's just a different type of publicity tour that these guys go on.
Well, when I'm trying to finish my novel. I've been writing a novel for 7 years, and I'm over halfway through. But when it's about time for my novel to be published, I'm going to come out as being gay. I think I'm going to tell everybody that I'm gay. You know, there's only like 3 people listen to the show, so no, I'm just joking.
7 years halfway through. I like that. Must be an epic tale.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my book is semi-autobiographical. I mean, I couldn't make it. You know, who wants to know just about me?
No, I dig that.
I'm not
dig that.
Well known enough, so I just kind of use all the funny stuff in my life. Joe's just saying she loves my accent because apparently I said America. It's basically because I've had 2 hours sleep, Joe, and my accent is pretty mixed anyway. Because they have the British influence, and I'm also a big homo, and also I have the American influence too. So, you know,
mine's mixed as well, I think.
Yeah, but you're from Boston. Did you pack the cat?
I know, but I lived in New York for 9 years. And
yeah, you did.
I'm also like a trained actor, so I like this mix of like 3.
But can you switch it on and off? Because it's like when people say to me about the British, I can just go into like an English accent right away and stick with it and just, you know.
Yeah, I think I kind of impersonate my mother when I do a Boston accent, and I sort of also just if I'm with a bunch of people from Boston, I can't help it. It comes out naturally. Yeah. People have complained about that. When I'm on stage, they're like, well, I wish you had more of a... People have, like, when I go... Sometimes if I'm, like, out of state, they'll just bill me as, like, Boston comedian Will Noonan, and people will come expecting a really thick accent, and they don't get one. They're disappointed sometimes. Even
when you lived in New York, some words you could tell that you said that you were from Boston, but just, like, occasional. It's like people say... I'm always asked if I'm Canadian, which is totally offensive.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I've gotten.
Are you Canadian? Joe says, "Will you give an example of a Boston accent?" Our friend Kathy, was in the chat, she went off because she had visitors, but she lives in Massachusetts. She's got a very kind of like Bostonian accent.
Yeah. No, it's you know, the thing with the Boston accent is like. People in Boston, even like working class people, use like really big vocabulary words all the time.
Right.
Yeah. So like that's how I always do it. I'm always like say, you know, perhaps I sell Oxycontin, perhaps I don't, officer. I'm bewildered and perturbed. That's how you like to get your jollies. That's your prerogative. Why must you always deal in semantics and minutia?
I think there's almost like with the Boston accent, there's almost like an Irish edge to it. There's like a little chop of Irish. What?
No, big time, because we're an Irish town and we have a little. Right. It's got a sing-songy quality to it.
Yeah, it's almost like they're singing to you, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of that here.
I just have to ask Jo. She said, "I love the East Coast English homo accent. It's my favorite." What the frick is the East Coast English homo accent, Jo?
That's you, man. That's what you got. The East Coast. I know what she means, because the gay guys on the West Coast kind of have a more like I don't know. It's a slower way of talking. A slower way of talking.
This gay Valley Girl gay accent, you know, like when they talk like this. Hello. I was walking down the street and I decided I wanted some McDonald's, and I said thank you.
Yeah,
it's like Shut up. I don't even want to hear you speak.
That whole, like, hello, darling. That's very, like, L.A. gay. Hello, darling.
Wow.
Those are the L.A. gays. Yeah, they say darling.
So, Will, just as it just came into my brain, just for a couple of minutes, I'm sure you've been keeping up on this Jodi Arias trial.
I know a little bit.
In this Jodi Arias trial, are they a bunch of pussies or what? I mean, don't you think if it's a trial where the death sentence is involved, they really should have been given a bit of a litmus test to see if they could actually, because I mean, I couldn't personally. I don't want to be on a trial where I say whether someone lives or dies, so I'm not the right person to be on that kind of trial. However, they asked these people whether they were not cool with, but able to do that. Do you think? Well, what do you think about it? Is it me or?
I don't know. I mean, do you mean how I feel about the death penalty in general, or in this case?
No. I mean this case in particular, because what she did was particularly heinous. I mean, it wasn't like she just snapped and killed him. I mean, she did all of these things to him. You know, shot him, killed him. You know, everything but set fire to his dead body. But
didn't she have some money involved? Didn't she do something with money as well? Like, didn't she try and what was her? She was a waitress, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know I don't know a lot about her. I just know that she stopped going out with this guy and she got jealous and she killed him. But the way she killed him was horrific.
Yeah, she chopped him up or something, or she stabbed him 30 times. Something like that.
She stabbed him 30 times. She shot him. I mean, you know, when someone's dead, they're dead. 37 times. Austin just said in the chat room she accidentally stabbed him like 37 times, you know. It's like, I ran into you with my fist 25 times, but it was an accident, you know.
I just saw an interview. I saw that interview with her. She seemed like a kind of a cold person, you know, a cold killer.
Wow.
I don't know. You know, dude, it sucks because people kill each other in horrible ways every single day. I don't see why the Jodi Arias case is any different from, you know.
No.
I mean, like, there's gang people, black people, and gangs are like teenage boys, like really young, like little boys shooting each other dead all the time. And it's like, you know, all this attention, not to be like a preachy bastard, but it's like, come on, who cares? She's like a white trash chick, and she went crazy and stabbed the guy, and she should just be thrown in jail. I
just hate these defenses like, you know, I was a white chick waitress, that's my defense. It's like a Twinkie defense. You lost it, you killed somebody, you should be punished. I don't want to say whether you should be killed or not, but the general consensus opinion is that she should get the death penalty. And other people have said that too. Joe says in the chat room that she's an expert on Jodi Arias. How do you say her name? Arias? Do you want to call in, Joe, and tell her? What?
I heard Jodi Arias say in an interview that she'd rather be killed because she thinks that's like freedom to her instead of being in jail forever. So she said she'd hate to be in jail, so that's what they should do. If they really want to punish her, they should put her in jail forever. Put her on suicide watch for the rest of her life.
Joe said the family will get her money because they are suing. I just despair, really, of people. I really do, you know.
Yeah.
This is why I would far rather spend my time with animals than people, because at least they're not going to stab you or steal your stuff or sleep with your boyfriend, you know. I mean,
no.
Joe is agreeing with you in the chat room. So I was just kind of like curious to your opinion on that. So tell us, Will, we're coming to the end of the show. Tell people where they can find you on the interweb.
Well, I'd really like it if they could subscribe to my podcast and check it out on iTunes. It's called Hypothetically with Will Noonan. And if they really have a couple seconds to leave a comment and rate it, that is a huge, amazing help to me. So I'd love that. And,
so anyone that doesn't leave a comment will have to sleep with me, so that will encourage you to do so.
Yeah, that's definitely helpful. And I've gotten a lot of downloads lately, so that's like a good, if I can get them going at the same time, that's how they get you on like the chart. So I'd love to do that. And WillNoonan.com is where all my like Facebook and stuff is. So they can, if they want to hit me up or anything, if they want to email me, it's all there, and I answer everybody, and I'm down to talk to anybody.
So aside of your bedroom tonight for your girlfriend, tell us where else you're going to be performing soon, Will.
If you live in the New England area, I will be coming to you soon. I'll be in Nick's Comedy Stop in Boston next weekend, Manchester, New Hampshire next Saturday. And, all those dates are at WillNoonan.com if they want to see.
Cool.
Where I'll be at.
Joey's asking for a link. She said she marked your page and followed you. I said that you would tweet this after the show so people are aware.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that, Hillary. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Well, she can hear you, too.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Tell her thank
Sorry,
you.
people always say, "Oh, Xander, can you tell them I said so and so, so and so?" I'm like, yeah, they can hear you. But listen, Will, thank you so much. I didn't get to say at the beginning of the show, but you were invited back by popular demand. So many people have been asking when you were coming on the show again. Thank you so much for joining us today on Xandermonium, and we do hope you'll come back in the future, and we wish you luck with your comedy career, and we look forward to seeing you on Chelsea lately.
Yeah, I hope so, man. And thank you to everyone in the chat room for hanging out. That was really cool. Appreciated that.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Will. Have a great week.
Thanks, dude.
And happy Memorial Day to you.
And you too.
Thank you.
Bye, buddy.
Bye. Well, that was the fabulous Will Noonan, Boston-based comedian. Check out his website. Check out his Twitter page at Will Noonan, WILLNOONAN at Will Noonan. And check out his website, willnoonan.com. We will be back with you next week. Hopefully I will be less zany and have had more sleep. When our guests will be, who are they next week? Oh, we have from the TV show Wife Swap, we have Dr. Gina Loudon and John Loudon, who were on an episode of Wife Swap even, and they are members of the wife is, I don't know if the husband is, members of the Tea Party movement, but you might be surprised as to their ideologies on things. They swing more towards libertarian than Republican, but we'll find more about them next week. Thank you to everyone that was in chat. Thank you to Kathy. Thank you to Joe. Thank you to Austin. Thanks once again to my very special guest, Will Noonan, comedian, writer, author, stripper, and star of every gay brothel from here to Massachusetts. We will be back with you next week for Xandermonium. Thank you very much to Joe in the chat room, too. I think I left you out, but I'd rather say you twice than not at all. I will see you all next week. Thank you so much, and I love you all. London has been good to me this time around. Things were bound to change.